Good afternoon, all of my beautiful astrolites. Mr. Sensational Astral here. So, I decided to do a video about modern women. Basically, how it's no longer about manners as it is more about how much money a guy has in his wallet. So, firstly, I'm just gonna say that if all you want is if all you want to know is how much a guy makes or what's in his wallet, then basically, uh, you just step off. Like there's no point to that. You remember back in the day, boy meets girl, they go out on a date. Doesn't necessarily have to be super expensive because you know money had nothing to do with it. It really didn't. You just vibed with each other. If you vibed, you vibed. If you didn't, you didn't. Nowadays, it's like, okay, he has to make a certain amount of money from his job, or if you have a good job, um, but it's not good enough. See, that's what annoys me is like today's women. It just, ugh, they just want more than what they're asking you for. It's not about, oh, he was pleasant. Um, I hope to see him again. He lives by himself. He lives with a roommate, but he has his own space to live in. Things like that. Dusty. But anyway, nowadays it's like, okay, he can't make less than 20,000. I'm just, and people are going out on the streets. Interviewers. They're just like, okay, so if you were gonna go out with a guy, what is the maximum that you would ask him to spend, or you would hope that he would spend on you? And one of the videos, the girl said, less than 120, because I don't necessarily need too much. Um, if a guy decides to take me out, he decides to nourish me and show me a good time, then that's all I care about. And I was watching this and I was like, see, we need more women like that. They're more interested in manners over materialism. Just taking the girl out for a bite to eat, maybe some coffee to have with the dessert, or a stroll in the park, whatever, just something within budget. Because all you are really doing is getting to know, quite possibly, the girl of your dreams. Nowadays, it's just getting out of hand. Like in one of my other videos, I was talking about the orange peel. And I gotten quite a lot of views on that one. So people are paying attention. Dumbest experiment ever. It's like the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard of, I have ever seen. It's basically a magic 8 ball if it was made of citrus. It is so stupid. Let's see. Will he still be with me if he decides to peel this? It's like a really it's like a spoof of Shakespeare or something, like to peel or not to peel, that is the question. It is so ridiculous. You guys gotta go on TikTok, even check out my video because it's on my YouTube page and everywhere else. You're just gonna be like, oh wow, he's right, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, It's like you have a good job, but it's not good enough. You make an average amount of money, but it's not up to their standards. These are the kind of women you need to avoid, because otherwise you're going to be like, oh, what's the point anymore? And I'm sure Lady J will agree with me. Recent YouTuber I subscribe to, hopefully she's watching this. Hopefully she agrees with at least some of the stuff I'm saying here. It's it used to be kind of like a fairy tale, I'd say, just sort of, or just like one of those early to mid 1980s teen movies. You glance from across the room. Uh, you plan out what you're gonna say to the girl. You go up to her, and sometimes all it took was a simple hi. You introduced your name. She introduced hers. Point simple, plain and simple. Nowadays, it's like, uh, you're a pleasant per. Okay, so let me actually switch it up real quick. So I was also watching. I forgot what the name of it was, but basically, they they make videos exploiting gold diggers, and the people who are a part of the crew, they actually seem pleasant. They seem kind. They go up to these beautiful women and they're just like, um, hi there. And they say something flirtatious, and the girl is like, oh, I already have a boyfriend, and so I'm really not interested. You're really not my type. And they're just like, oh, okay, thank you for your time. They go to their, and I'm not kidding you, you see these kinds of cars on the Fast and the Furious series. They go to those types of cars within an instant. Oh, actually, I don't have a boyfriend anymore. You ain't got no ride either. I don't, I don't date gold diggers, so I don't waste my time with y'all. And it is one of the most funniest things I've ever seen. And to me, that show proved that, there are some certain women you need to avoid, whether it's a gold digger or whether it's a modern woman. You just gotta be on the lookout. You gotta look out for red flags. You have to, well, the red flags will actually speak for themselves, because if you tell them, oh, well, I work a certain job, I make a certain amount, it's all about how they're going to react and what they're going to say next to you. And if they're basically like, oh, well, I'm sorry, but you're not my type, I don't go for this, that, and the other. Uh, you don't go for decent human beings. Got it. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's cold hard facts here. It's like, um, when Queen and I met, all it took was a simple compliment. Like, I liked her hair, I liked her style. She said vice versa. We chilled. I bought some pizza and a couple drinks, and we shot the breeze. We've been happier ever since. But that's just my experience. But that's not to say that no one else will have that same exact experience. You just have to keep your eyes wide open. You have to look out for red flags. You have to look for the kind of women that you need to avoid, and the kind of woman that you're just like, you know what? I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this woman. I mean, not like, Not like right away. I mean, it probably you just feel it. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else really. But the sheer fact that today's women are so materialistic, ugh, just gives me shivers to be honest. But those are the exact kind of women you need to look out for. You need to avoid those. Because all they do is complain about they basically generalize about they generalize about men. Modern women, modern day feminists, whatever you want to call them, whatever they are. They generalize about men and they think that they're speaking for their whole demographic and they're really not. It's they're complaining about the experiences that they continue to have because they're not taking the advice that I'm actually giving to you now. There are signs. Some of them are so obvious, but sometimes those types of women want to be oblivious. And, there are some that are just masochists. They emotionally like to get their feelings hurt. They want to be just a stooge, I'd say would be the proper word for it. Another Lady J video I was watching, she was saying that women enjoy toxic men. And as I was watching this, I was like, what is she on, first of all? And secondly, that's far from true. Real women, they want to be treated like decent humans. They want to be felt like they want to be treated like royalty without expecting a fat wallet, if you follow me. Metaphorically speaking, they want to be felt like they are on top of the world. You are the king to their castle, and so on and so forth. You guys get my drift so far. And I really wish it was more Mannerism over Materialism. Sadly, it's not. As much as we want it to be. But point blank and freaking simple, find somebody right for you. Somebody who treats you right. Treats you like you're the only one in their universe. Treat them with respect. Treat them like royalty. You don't need a fat wallet to treat them. You don't need to be like, oh, well, I'm a baller anyway, so I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. They don't want anything super extravagant. They just want to get to know you. Like, what do you do for a living? Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Do you want kids? Do you want pets? So on and so forth. That is what women are looking for, and vice versa. Okay? Well, I think I said my piece on the subject. I called this materialism over mannerisms, but in certain scenarios, it'll be the complete opposite, vice versa. But it's food for thought. Really think about that. Like, you can give a person 5-star treatment without having a 5-star bank account, is one way of putting it. And for those of you like, yeah, right. If if they're gonna come at me with 5 stars, they better have a whole galaxy in their pocket. If you're that kind of person, you just uh shoo, get off my site right now. Get off my video channel. I'm not gonna put up with it. I have a delete key and I'm not afraid to use it. But anyway, for those of you who are actually wanting to listen and learn, really think about that. It's mannerisms over materialism. You're going to be much better for it, and she's going to feel like royalty. Also, before I log off, it's important not to expect anything. Like, okay, so a lot of these women are like, oh, they're gonna expect me to do this, that, and the other, cook, clean, be their mother. No one's expecting you to be anybody's mother. It's all about just having companionship, compromising, the pursuit of happiness, basically. So just avoid these modern day women, the ones who are saying that they like toxicity in their lives, and um, men should be doing this, that, and the other. Remember, relationships, that's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. It's two-sided. Otherwise, you're going to be like, what's the point anymore? So just keep that in mind. This has been Mr. Sensational Astral. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe. I love you all. We'll talk soon. I'll see you in the next video. Good night.